What's up, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror. What's up, guys? Welcome to 30... What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark came out in 2010. Now, this is a remake of a 1973 television film. I've never seen either, and I'm one of those, I have kind of like an OCD thing. I really like watching original films first. So it's not all the time that I'll watch the remake before I watch the original. Unless, there's been times where I didn't know there was an original, and then I'll watch a movie and then discover there was an original. However, I decided to stick with the remake just because I found it first, and the television film is a little bit harder to find. So I decided just to go with it. And it's also got Katie Holmes and Guy Pearce, as well as Bailey Madison, who is a really great actress. Today is absolutely gorgeous. She was in The Strangers Prey at Night, which is one of my favorite modern slashers. But in this one, she plays a little girl, and she's absolutely adorable. And this was produced by Guillermo del Toro, and this has Guillermo del Toro written all over it. It's absolutely fantastic. It deals with it's kind of like an adult fairy tale, which he's definitely known for. So he produced it, and he helped write it, the screenplay. And this is an awesome movie. This one surprised the hell out of me. I had a really good time with it. Bailey Madison as a little girl is a great child actress. She does a phenomenal job and a very believable performance coming out of her. So she flies down to visit her father, and her father is basically refurbishing this massive mansion. It's gorgeous. And the woman that he's seeing and planning on marrying is an interior decorator. So she's basically helping him refurbish the house and doing the whole design and design of the house, basically. And like I said, this place is huge, this place is beautiful, and apparently the girl she has a few, they're worried about her because she has some ADHD problems. I think she takes Adderall, which I looked up, and it's an ADHD medication. The mother basically sent her off to live with her dad for a change, but it really sounds like the mother's not the best person in the world. It sounded more like she was kind of getting rid of her, especially during this phone call with the daughter and the mother about midway through the film. You can hear the mother in the background with some other guy, and she's talking about sashimi and stuff like that. So it sounds like the mother kind of found the daughter more of an annoyance, and it's just like, get the fuck out of here, go visit your dad. I don't want to deal with you anymore. So she's apparently medicated. She apparently I think she's going through some depression too. But anyway, she goes to live with her dad for a bit, and her dad has to take care of this little girl while he's trying to refurbish this house for this really rich Charles Jacoby guy who is looking to either market the house or buy the house. Anyways, they discover a basement. There is also an intro to the film too that takes place like hundreds of years before, where this guy is he he's in the basement of the house, and apparently there's some kind of creature feature going on down there, and he gets attacked and he gets killed at the beginning of the film. But modern day, they discover this basement, and the little girl discovers it in the garden, and there's this big like canopy kind of thing, this window that is hidden in the bushes, and then they find it, and then they burst down a wall, and then they find this basement that has been hidden in the house. And throughout the film, throughout the film, the little girl starts to hear voices and creatures that start talking to her in whispers. The whispers are really, really creepy. They do a really good creepy job and in the whispers, and a really, really great gothic job in the cinematography. The cinematography is wonderful in this film, and the creature design, although it's CGI clearly, is still well done, and I like the creature design. The creatures are these fairy kind of creatures. They look like a mix between rats and monkeys, and they're really small, they're hairy, and they're gray, and they jump around, and they're very Del Toro. If you're familiar with Del Toro and you know his work, the creatures look like you would typically see something in a Del Toro film. So she's hearing these voices, and these creatures are always, messing with her. They're messing with the house. They start tearing Katie Holmes's clothes. Her name is Kim. The father's name is Alex. And they tear Kim's clothes, and then obviously Sally is to blame, the little girl. And the father is just having this really hard time balancing everything, and eventually Kim starts to get a really big bond with a liking for the girl, and she starts to not care more for her, but really wanna the father is so focused on his job, and she starts to kind of try to bring him back to reality, to focus on his daughter, who clearly needs attention and needs love and support and everything. And obviously throughout the film, nobody's believing that there's fairies living underneath the in the basement. But years and years before, centuries before, there's this guy named Blackwood, Mr. Blackwood, and he was a painter, and he basically painted wildlife. He was very, very into painting wildlife. The whole house is filled with wildlife paintings. And it turns out that later on, really, really close to when he disappeared, he disappeared, and he also had a son that disappeared. And very close to the end of his life, or the end of his, close to his disappearance, Kim discovers through this, I think he's a housekeeper named Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris guides her to a library, and in this library there was this kind of vault with Mr. Blackwood's last paintings, and they weren't wildlife, they were creatures. So these paintings were never published, they were hidden, they were put away, and were never to be touched or seen again. And she sees these, and then she starts to realize that they're very similar to the stories that that Sally is talking about, the little girl. And then she starts to investigate a little more, and these creatures start to create havoc more and more with Sally. Eventually, Kim ends up giving Sally a camera, because Sally mentions that these creatures hate flashy lights, and they only live in the dark. And any kind of flashing lights they hate. So she uses this camera to keep them away. And it's said that these creatures need one life to kind of, I think it was to, every time they come out, they need one life to replenish more of them, kind of thing, or something along those lines. And they also like to take teeth, especially, and bones, especially from children, in exchange for silver. So it's this big, I forget the poet's name, but there was this this poet. Did I write his name down? I don't think I did. Arthur Machen, yes, I did. Arthur Machen, this Welsh poet, or this Welsh guy, really believed in these creatures, and these creatures predated man, and they're like super historical, and they're legendary. They have this whole folklore to them, and this guy Arthur Macon really believed in them, and then Blackwood obviously believed in them too, and his disappearance is kind of point to these creatures taking him pretty much. So the film pretty much goes that way, and it's a creature feature. It's a monster movie. I'd say creature feature more so, and an adult fairy tale, which Guillermo del Toro is famous for. Even though he didn't direct it, he produced it and helped write it. But great cast. I mean, with Katie Holmes, Guy Pearce, and Bailey Madison, you've got a trio of fantastic performances. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Charles Jacobi is played by the actor who played Caleb in the OC. His face and his voice sounded like it. I didn't look him up, but he looked like Caleb from the OC, so it might be him. He doesn't show up too much, but he's there. And it's such a creepy gothic tale. I really, it took me by surprise. I loved this film. I thought it was going to be like an average film. Like, I didn't expect this to be bad by any means, but it exceeded my expectations. I really had a great time with this. Very interested in seeing the original television film. And it has a lot of great moments. I love, like I said, the creepy voices. The creatures are great. There's this teddy bear scene where the teddy bear's like, "I love you" to the little girl, and then like the teddy bear almost tries to bite her. There's this scene where Mr. Harris, the housekeeper, I think, starts to get bitten and attacked by these creatures, and you think he's dead, but he ends up surviving and ending up in the hospital. But yeah, they tear him, like they tear his arms, they bite him all over the place. His face is just like mangled and bitten. And yeah, these creatures are wild. Yeah, fantastic atmosphere. I recommend Don't Be Afraid of the Dark very much, and beautiful cinematography, and very intriguing plot, and very thrilling climax, I must say, in the basement. It's a very thrilling climax, and the very ending, like the last 20 seconds, really took me by surprise. That was something I wasn't expecting. This film went in a little bit of a twist that was like like I said, the last like 20 seconds, that I was like, whoa, it went there. Holy shit. That's a little dark. But you can't be afraid of the dark, can you? So that's what day are we on? 24. So yeah, that's day 24. I had a great time with this film, and yeah, I recommend it. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned. Check out what's on the channel already, and until next review, take care and cheers.